Um, Most of the times, the small to medium businesses don't even realize that onboarding is where things fall apart because they've never done it before. They don't know how EDI works. They don't have somebody on the team that understands or has implemented EDI. Half the time, they don't even know what EDI stands for, which is the wonderful world that I've been in for over 27 years. So EDI, API, those type of things. A lot of the times, the legacy EDI providers often assume you have somebody that's in-house, in-house IT or outside IT, or an EDI specialist on the team, any of those things. So they're assuming that you're going to have the knowledge of what's really going on and what's being put in place, which really is not the case. And if you've never done EDI before, I'm not trying to scare you. You're going to want to go through and have somebody in your corner that has done it before. Somebody that can lead your hand, explain to you what the different steps are, explain to you what the processes are, explain to you those different things. Because a lot of it, when you're setting up EDI, is actually coordination and project management that's involved. A lot of it is not technical. Especially if you're using a provider should have the technical capabilities of doing the things that are needed from a technical standpoint, but you're going to need to understand the project management. The problems usually begin when there's unclear timelines. There's lack of communication or assumptions made by a particular provider or trading partner that you're dealing with. Because the trading partner they're assuming that you know what you're doing. They're assuming that they just essentially give you whatever the details are and you're just going to be off and running. And you're also assuming that your provider that you're dealing with knows what they're doing and is going to handle all of that for you. So, gathering of the specs, the understanding of what type of communication and protocols are being set up. If there's any type of firewall rules that are involved, any of those type of things. So also understand that you're getting signed up and you're reaching out and you're talking to these EDI providers, or you're talking to the trading partner, and the trading partner is saying, hey, we want you to be up and running in 30 days or 2 weeks or whatever it looks like. And you're like, hey, yeah, that sounds good to me. That's great. And then you talk to your provider and your provider goes, well, we can get you on the schedule in 30 days. Well, that's an issue. So you want to coordinate and you want to have conversations where before you're committing to anything, you want to know if you're able to commit to those based on what your provider is able to do. So there's a lot of things that go on there with understanding the ins and outs. So you want to make sure, and there are some common issues like delays in the mapping, manual data entry, or lack of instructions from the trading partners. Again, those trading partners are assuming you know what you are doing. Your provider is also assuming you probably have somebody to leverage and lean on for help. That can become problems and that can become issues. So you want to sit there and you want to try to figure those things out. And you also want to try to figure out how it all works together. If you're doing it and you're starting to get lost, reach out. We can typically help you. We can get you work through where those issues are and where the things lie, and maybe even kickstart you and start you from the beginning. Because it's better to backtrack and say, hey, I have to bring in a party to help me out. Or, hey, I need to bring in somebody to help me out. You want to stop it and you want to be honest with your trading partners, honest with your providers, honest with the people that are involved, because if you're not honest, there's going to be an issue. And those issues are going to cause major problems for you. So there's the problems, the delays, all of those things that are going on. So what should EDI onboarding look like? A proper onboarding process includes a kickoff meeting with roles and responsibilities clarified, the trading partner requirements gathered early. So that's their mapping guidelines. That's how the communication is going to be. A testing plan with clear milestones. Ongoing communication from a dedicated rep. So a dedicated rep or individuals on not only your side, the trading partner side, and your actual EDI provider or who's handling your EDI. So you want to get all those people lined up and get them working and talking with each other. You know, the ideal timeline for setting up a basic trading partner onboarding is 2 to 4 weeks. It's faster when there's pre-built maps that are already in place. It's could be a little bit longer if you're doing a first-time integration, because now integration is a whole nother aspect. You know, there's things that you have to think of when that comes about. And I typically tell people, when you're setting up your first integration to your back-end ERP, WMS, TMS system, whatever those systems in the business process looks like, I typically say that's a 60-day, because you got to work through dealing with your team, their team, all of those different things. So understand what that looks like. If you're just doing sole web EDI, what I call non-integrated, now 2 to 4 weeks should be obtainable, should be easy to reach, as long as everybody's on board and as long as everybody's doing what they need to do. When you're looking at, you should never feel like you're chasing your provider for updates. Your provider is a key person or individual or group that's working with you, and they're side by side, or they're leading this. That's the way it should always work. If you're managing your EDI provider instead of the other way around, something's not right. If you're constantly having to go to the provider and saying, hey, where are we at? Hey, what are the details? Hey, what's going on? That's an issue. And this is where I typically tell people project management means a lot. You know, when you're dealing in EDI setups, a lot of people think it's all technical. I typically say, listen, it's a 90-10 rule. 90% is project management, 10% of it is actually technical. Other people think of it the other way, that it's 90% technical and 10% project management. I just don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think you spend a lot more time gathering information, talking with different parties, doing all these different things, while the map creation, and when you're looking at it and you weigh the numbers, if you truly track all the time involvement, you'll see that it starts leaning more towards project management and less from the technical.